with discounts as high as $18,500, $12,500, $7,500. It's pretty clear that there's a lot of desperate car dealers out there right now. And really, it's more telling than what are the numbers of dollars of discounts are ready to give you. But in fact, it's even more telling how long those vehicles are sitting on the lot. As a matter of fact, things are getting so desperate. There's many car brands that are in serious trouble, serious harm of not staying afloat because their vehicles have been literally sitting on the car lot longer than the second coming of Christ. But today, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the average number of days on the car lot that these particular worst selling vehicles are, and you could possibly get yourself an absolute bang up amazing deal. So let's just enough messing around. Let's just get right from the top and our number 10th slot. We'll talk about some of the actual discounts and some of the associated incentives that are still not making these vehicles move, but may be worth your time to look at. And one of the vehicles we want to start at the top, and we talked about the Nissan Leaf being an absolute disaster. Those that love them, like them. They're short range. They don't have the greatest reliability, but in fact, they are what they are. So if you want a cheap runabout electric vehicle, the Nissan Leaf, stickers around $31,000. And you know what? For about $1,000 rebate we're getting right now from Nissan, we're also offered up 3.9% for a 3-year term. So 3.9% is actually quite competitive. But even with all those incentives, this little rigmarole electric guru there sits around the lot for about 272 days, which is, a significant amount of time. We're talking, what, is that 8 or 9 months? So they're not selling very fast, but it could represent a great deal if you're looking for a lower cost electric vehicle. We know that they're a little obsolete. I'm not sure I would buy one, but there you go. If you've been looking, you might look at that. Then we look at another vehicle, the Nissan Titan. Well, we know with Titans, it's discontinued. It's waving bye-bye. It's been a great truck. Thanks for the good times, thanks for the parties, but adios Nissan Titan. And as a result, at a $56,000 sticker price and up, they're not a particular cheap truck. You're getting finance rates of about 2.99% for 3 years. And honestly, they're giving you a little bit of a discount in there too. Not a whole lot, but those trucks are typically sitting about 285 days on the lot. But is it a Nissan thing, or is it a full-size truck thing, or is it a cost thing? I don't know. But I do know this, they're not selling very quickly, and it does offer up some great opportunities to get yourself a phenomenal deal. Another vehicle we talk about is a car brand that we know is the Italian makes, Maserati at Levante, which has not been selling all that well. We know the Italian make definitely has a reputation for absolutely breathtaking, well, no, I shouldn't say that. Absolutely mind-boggling and wallet-emptying depreciation. And when they start at a price tag of about $97K, as a matter of fact, most of the ones I saw online were well over $100,000. It's not a cheap vehicle. And the worst part is, after 2 or 3 years, you're going to lose half of your value, or I was going to say half of your shirt falling off. It's a very, very expensive vehicle to own. Maintenance, outside of warranty, it could be a disaster financially, but you're getting a 5.5% on 72 months, and you're dealing with about a $5,000 rebate. So there's definitely some incentives there. And if you're okay in paying $1,600 a month for a finance payment, hey, knock your socks off. Just saying, if you're looking at one of those, they typically sit on the lot for about 333 damn days. That's getting up there. That's pretty darn close to a full year. But hey, good luck, Maserati. Another one on the list is Genesis. We know Genesis is the love spawn of Hyundai, Kia. It's supposed to be their luxury brand. Some people love them. But you know what? The GV60 doesn't have a lot of love these days. At $61,000 sticker. They're sitting on the lot for about 347 days. Obviously not a good time frame. You are able, though, fortunately, to get in a 3-year time frame a 5.49% interest rate and actually a $7,500 rebate on that. Now, if you like electric vehicles, you want to go out on a limb and risk your finances and your stress and anxiety and buy one of these Genesis vehicles, hey, there's an option. The option's yours. And then we move into Audi SQ8. Now, as you get into the Q8s and the standard variety vehicles, the A-Class vehicles, and all of these more generic vehicles, you're talking from Audi, you're finding a lot better incentives. But as you move into the S and the RS models, or even the R8s or You know, some of those more specific sport tune versions, you're getting less discounts. But the SQ8 at $110,000 sticker, they're giving you a 5.99% and basically no rebates. And that 5.99% is qualified at about a 60-month term, so 5 years, 350 days. What is there? 365. I've never been good at math. But anyway, 350 days, the average Audi SQ8 sits around. Now, the RSQ8, that's a Lamborghini Urus. Hey, if you want to get the Urus with cheaper skin, there you go. That's an option. Then we move into, honestly, I find these a little revolting personally. Some people like them, but I think they're a little bit nerdy, geeky. I think they're the librarian special. I'm not a big fan of a lot of Subaru products, but the Solterra at about $30,000, you're getting a 0% financing for 72 months, folks. It doesn't matter, 72 months, 80 months, it's 0%. So clearly they're strongly incentivizing the sales of this vehicle. And it is pure electric. So if you like those electric Subarus, I guess you have your option there. But they sit basically a year, 363 days. So if they stop building those Subaru Solterras today, the last one would still roll off the lot in about a year's time. So they're not selling well. And if you're a fan, great. You can get into electrification. Subaru, if you like the maybe that little logo or emblem, and you want 0% financing, it might be an option for you. Ford Ranger at $45,000 sticker, 422 days supply, or basically days on the lot. You know, this one's a little tricky for me because we know the F-150 is typically the best-selling North American pickup truck. The F-150 Lightning, not as much. The Lightning, they were offering $12,500 discounts. They've slashed the production. People aren't buying them. And the Lightning, they're almost giving away. And we know the depreciation is destroying the Lightning brutally. But on the other side of the coin, we have the Maverick. Now, that one I understand. With stickers that are just over $30,000, that seems to be their little sweet spot, their honeypot, so to speak. And that's the truck, or if you can call it a truck, you could probably drive a whole Maverick in the box of a real pickup truck. But, you know, a Maverick, you know, at just over 30K, the Ranger at 45 feels like it's kind of stalled in there a little bit. I mean, for a couple grand more, you step up into a base F-150, and it leaves me wondering and scratching my head, why in the hell anybody would buy a Ranger beyond me? It's not worth half of that. Honestly, a Ranger is probably worth $20,000. Maverick's probably worth $17,500, but that's just my opinion. Don't take my word for it, but I will say 422 days. So there you go. And no real incentives that I stumble across. Really, the only incentive is because it's been sitting for so long and you really feel like you need to have one, you're probably going to have a much better negotiation opportunity to get your hands on one and get a better deal doing so. Just because there's no better bargaining chip than a dealer that can't sell a product. For products sitting, the longer it sits, the less likely they're gonna hold strong on their prices. Now you get some of those douche dealers that are gonna hold their prices, they're gonna stay put, they're gonna stand strong, and all of those things. But forget about it. Find out the day's supply, and that's one of your biggest pieces of ammunition going into any of these negotiations. Then the next one on the list is the Volvo C40, which is sort of an electrified little so-and-so. You know, the XC40, great, cute little ICE gas jobby. Well, we have a C40, and they sticker about $58,000. That's a lot of... That's oh man, that's a lot of money. Oh, that just angers me when I see... Okay, I better not let that get the best of me. Anyway, 429 days supply. You can negotiate the crap out of those. Nobody wants them. And on top of it, you can get a 4.99% if for some reason you actually want to take this out for a 72-month term, which if you've been watching the storylines, you never ever want to take a loan out for 72 damn months. 48 months tops. So if you can't manage your monthly payments within the 10% region of your gross annual monthly salary, and keep it within a 4-month time frame, then you don't have enough down payment on that vehicle. But they're giving you that 4.99% on 72 months and a rebate of about $2,000, barely a pence. That's not enough to barely put floor mats in this luxury Euro wagon. But there you go. So you might, because it's been sitting around and 429 days means you're going to probably get some great negotiation options there. Now the next one is one that most people are just going to run away screaming from, but the little, what do they say? Fix it again, Tony? Fiat 500X. It's kind of that ugly. It's not the full 500. The Fiat 500 is that little sporty. You see them all over Europe. They're the really, 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 really small little subcompact car. The 500X is more of an SUV, all-wheel drive. It's a little bigger and plumper, but it kind of looks like the Fiat 500, just fatter and more bloated, I guess. And they sticker about $29,700. And you can get some damn good finance rates on this. They're actually willing to give you a $3,500 rebate, which when you take that, knock that off the $29,700, that now takes you, now you're into the mid-20s. They're also willing to give you a 1.9% finance on a 3-year term, which is, again, kind of the rule of thumb. I prefer to go with a 3 or 4-year program. But at 1.9%, it's borrowing at very low rates, almost, pre-2020. Those are the sort of rates that you saw back then. And so it's a great deal. And actually, if you don't plan on keeping a vehicle for a long period of time, it might represent a great option to get into a cheap, low-cost, economically fuel-efficient vehicle. And 558 days, folks. And so I always believe that, forget about that. I mean, even these stickers, these are the prices. I'm giving you sticker prices for that, $29,700 minus the $35,000. Still, you want to slash and hack these yo-yos down. And honestly, 558 days supply means these cars are sitting on the car lot for probably, what is that, a year and a half? A year and a half. You're already into the next stratosphere. You're already into the next time zone. I'm already 2 days ahead. It's like here in Canada, and I'm already looking in Australia time zone. You're way out to lunch on that as far as the amount of days it sits around. So it's clearly an indication with the strong incentives, the days on the lot, strong incentives, the cars are not selling. Nobody wants them. But if you want something cheap and dirty and you don't plan to keep it a long time anyway, hey, it might be a great option. But I do believe that between that 7 and 10% is still a target negotiation to slash off of MSRP. Now, with a word of caution, of course, you won't get prices off. My experience, there are certain cars you will, and you really got to try it. I mean, you won't know until you get your feet wet, but there's certain cars you won't even get $1 off MSRP, or it's very difficult. A lot of them are hybrids, Toyota hybrids. We talked about this the other day where I went in to try to negotiate on RAV4 hybrid, the RAV4 Prime, which gives you the plug-in hybrid and gets you that 60 kilometer or 40 mile range, free range with electric. And they weren't having it. They have no stock, no inventory. It's a 2-year plus wait. And the odd one that they might have sitting around, they always use some kind of BS excuse that's waiting for customer. But just in case the customer doesn't back out, they always leave that little gap there for you to slide in there and pay above what they want. Because the vehicle that I saw, they were trying to add another $11,000 in paint protection film, which is absolutely brutal. But anyhow, that's enough about the Toyotas. The point we're making is the Fiats. There's some great opportunities there if you're looking at the 500X. And the number one slot, and this is totally ironic to me because they're not even given much discounts. They're given a $500 measly discount on a vehicle that's grossly overrated, overpriced, and poorly built altogether, in my personal opinion. It's also the spiritual sister and brother of the Alfa Romeo Tonale, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that vehicle, but we're talking about the manufacturer under Stellantis that we know has not been selling a lot of vehicles. They've been sitting with a lot of inventory. The inventory's been sitting for a long time. We know Stellantis in general can't sell their Jeeps very quickly, their Rams very quickly, Dodges, Chryslers, everything's sitting so long. But this one's a doozy because even this one, they're not even given extra incentives, probably because it's a newer model, but they're not selling. As a matter of fact, the Dodge Hornet sits at 646 days. That's right, Dodge Hornet, 646 days, folks. That's just about 2 years. 2 years of sitting on a car lot. I don't even know what this... These people need to get their heads bolted on a little tighter, if you know what I mean. Yeah, just a little bit tighter. They're not selling this crap. Nobody's buying it. Who wants it? It's overpriced. It's trash. It's unreliable. Nothing good about it. But hey, if you want one, you might have a strong negotiations. And we know everything Stellantis has been subject to really aggressive negotiation doors opening because they're not selling. And while we know what the sticker is and we know they're not selling, if you really feel you need this, and it's not a well-made vehicle in my personal opinion, I've driven them, they just don't feel that great a product. My suggestion would be like slash them, grind them, work them hard for a discount, because remember, they're giving you discounts, free range already on a lot of their Stellantis products. So there's no reason this Dodge Hornet shouldn't be subject to that too. I would come at them with a total lowball number because honestly, at $42,000, it's way too high anyway. I mean, that 42K, it blows my mind. So I'm going to leave it at that. That is my list of some of the most longest standing vehicles on a car lot before they actually leave. So in other words, vehicles that if they stop production today, it would take that long for the last one to roll off and be sold. So we're talking about 646 days for the Dodge Hornet. And buried in that list, guarantee there's going to be a lot of great negotiations. You're going to probably get yourself an awesome deal somewhere along the way. And if any of those vehicles felt in the criteria that you might be looking at to buy, definitely give it a shot, because there's some great opportunities, some big discounts, some rebates, low interest rates. And again, even better, when you walk into the dealer and you know these vehicles have been sitting that long, your negotiations can be much stronger. And don't take no for an answer. So with all of that said, you definitely want to check out that video. What's been going on with the Ford world and the sales? Yeah, not good. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.